Welcome dear students. Today we will be learning how to solve numericals from the chapter motion. Now to tackle numericals, let me tell you, only understanding the concepts, knowing the formulas or remembering the equations are not enough. We have to practice a lot, we have to develop the sense, exactly how to apply those concepts and equations and formulas at the right place, at the right time. Okay? So I will be doing few numericals here in this video lecture. I am going to give you a PDF containing many more numericals, and I want all of you to solve all those numericals there, because as you know, the more you practice, the better you become, right? So our first problem, very simple one. The velocity of a car is 25 meter per second. What's the velocity of that car in km per hour? It's a very simple one. So velocity is 25 meter per second. We have to convert this unit meter per second into kilometer per hour. So 25 meter, that is 25 into 10 to the power minus 3 kilometer. And 1 second means, you know, how many hours? We know 3600 second is equals to 1 hour. So 1 second equals to 1 by 3600 hour. So here we will have 1 by 3600 hour, and that's it. So let me rub this part. I need space. So that means the velocity is equals to 25 10 to the power minus 3 means 1 upon 1000, then 1 upon 3600. So this 3600 will be going here, and that is km per hour. And if you solve it, this is going to be 18. If I divide by 2, this is 5. So this is 25 into 18 upon 5 km per hour, and so that is equals to 90 km per hour. Note, that means if we are given the speed or velocity in meter per second, if we multiply that by 18 upon 5, we get it in kilometer per hour. And in the previous lecture, we had discussed that if the speed is given in kilometer per hour and you want to go into meter per second, this was 5 upon 18. But that's very simple, but we are starting from the basics only. Okay? Second problem, a bus is moving with a speed of 80 km per hour. How much distance the bus will cover in 1.5 minutes? See, you have the concepts of motion and rest and time and the speed, but then which formula, which equation we should be using? Alright, you know that, right? We know velocity equals to distance upon time, or distance equals to velocity into time, and we prefer to use SI unit, but as I have told you that in our daily life the speed of vehicles are expressed in kilometer per hour, and the distance covered by those vehicles are expressed in kilometer. So we can also find the answer in kilometer. No need to write in meter. Okay, but if you write it in meter, that's fine. So what is the velocity? Velocity is 80 km per hour. So 80 km per hour. What is the time? Time is 1.5 minutes. The bus is going for 1.5 minutes. So 1.5 minutes means how many hours? You know that 60 minutes is equals to 1 hour. So 1 minute is equals to 1 upon 60 hour. So 1.5 minute is equals to 1 upon 60 into 1.5 hour. Very simple. So 1.5 minute means 1.5 divided by 60 hour. Okay. So we are writing it like this. So this 80. Now you solve it. This will be 1 0 here. This will be 4, and this will be 2. So 2 kilometers. So the distance covered by the bus will be 2 kilometers. Now if you wanted to write the answer in meter, you can easily write that 2 kilometers equals to 2 into 10 to the power 3 meter. Now we do not call it 2000 meter because in physics we prefer to write the answer in this format, 2 times 10 to the power 3. Okay, this is in between 1 and 10. Okay, and this is the index number. Alright, so now we are going to the next problem, that is, imagine a swimming pool which is 90 meter long, and suppose you are swimming there. You are going from the starting point to the other end and coming back along the same straight line. So you are going along a straight line from starting point to the other end and coming back along the same straight line in 1 minute. Question is, what is the average speed and what is the average velocity of the swimmer? And here the swimmer is you. So that is our swimming pool. That is A point, that is B point, and that is 90 meter. You are going this way, coming back this way. So average speed, you know, V average, that will be total distance upon total time taken. Okay, here the total distance is 90 meter plus 90 meter, so 180 meter. Total time taken, you are taking 1 minute only, so 1 minute. Now it is in SI unit, so 1 minute you will write that in second. Okay, note this, 1 minute is 60 seconds, so that will be, it will be 3 meter per second. That is your average speed. This is your average speed, remember that. Now average velocity. Average velocity, the notation is same. Usually put an arrow, but in class 9 we are not dealing with the vector notation, but that is how we represent a vector. So that will be total displacement. It is not distance. Displacement is, remember, displacement by total time, and displacement is what? The shortest distance between the two terminal points. And here A is the starting point and A is the ending point. So total displacement is 0. So average velocity is 0 upon whatever the time be. It is 1 minute in our case. So that is 0 meter divided by 60 seconds. So 0 meter per second. So average velocity is 0. Alright. Next problem. Let me see. What is the next interesting problem? Alright. From 30 to 40 in 2 seconds. Next problem. Suppose you are riding a bike and you are traveling at a speed or velocity. You are traveling with the velocity 30 meter per second. And in 2 seconds, your velocity is increased to 40 meter per second. Question is, what is the acceleration? So your initial velocity is 30 meter per second. U is the symbol for initial velocity. V is the symbol for final velocity. That is 40 meter per second. And the time you are taking is 2 seconds. See, I am writing S. Do not write SEC. You can write either seconds or S. Not this. Okay. So question is, what is the acceleration? You know, acceleration is what? Rate of change of velocity. That is change in velocity divided by time taken for that change. That is the definition of acceleration. So what is the change in velocity? Final velocity v minus initial velocity u divided by time. Okay. When you solve the numericals, do not write this side by side. Okay. You should follow this vertical line. You should write it here. I don't have space here, so I am using that part. So this is 40 minus 30 by 2. What is the unit here? That's meter per second, and this is second. So on the top we have 10 meter per second, and this is 2 seconds. So that is 5 meter per second square. That is the acceleration. If the question would be, how much distance you will be traveling in this 2 seconds. Suppose with this problem, there is another question in your mind, how much distance I have traveled in this 2 seconds. Then how to do that? You cannot apply this d equals to v into t, right? Because this is when the velocity is uniform. But here your velocity is not constant, it is changing, you are speeding up. So now you have to apply your concept of equations of motion. There are 3 equations of motion. Can you tell me which equation of motion you can use here? Acceleration known to you right now, time known to you right now, initial velocity known to you right now. Okay? Suppose you use the second equation of motion. A is equals to ut plus half a t square. What is u? U is 30 meter per second SI unit. T is 2 seconds plus half. What is the acceleration? That is 5. And what is time? Time is your 2 seconds. So 2 square means this is 4. Okay? So how much this will be? This will be 2. Let me wrap this part so that we have some space here. So this will be 60 plus 10, isn't it? So that will be 70. But what is the unit? That's in meter. So in that 2 seconds you have traveled 70 meter. Okay. Now next problem, let us see some interesting next problem. Okay. 20 meter per second, 0.4. Now you are still on the bike and your velocity is now 20 meter per second, and you are now traveling over a rough path, rough road, so that your velocity is decreasing at a constant rate, and suppose that is 0.4 meter per second square. So you are still on the bike, moving with 20 meter per second velocity, your speed, your velocity decreasing at a constant rate, which is 0.4 meter per second square, and you eventually come to rest. Question is, how long will it take for you to come to rest? So you see, it looks like there are so much information. Let us write those down. So initial velocity in this case is 20 meter per second. Acceleration, is it acceleration? This is actually negative acceleration because you are slowing down, your velocity is decreasing, it is retardation, deceleration, and that is 0.4 meter per second square. There should be a negative sign because there is negative acceleration, and your final velocity, that is 0 because you are coming to rest. How long will it take for you to come to rest? That is the question. You can apply your concept of definition of acceleration, or from first equation you can say, using first equation of motion, we know what? V equals to u plus a t. What is v? That is 0. What is u? That is 20 meter per second SI unit. Plus what is a? A is your minus 0.4 meter per second square. What is t? Alright, that is the question. What is t? So let's come here. So that means, see, this equals to 0. So 20 equals to this. If I bring this here, this will be 0.4 t equals to 20. We are not writing the units because units of all the quantities here are in SI unit. Time in second, okay, acceleration in meter per second square. So our t will be 20 upon 0.4, and how much is that? The point is gone, and that will be 50 seconds. So you will take, or your bike will take 50 seconds before it comes to rest from the velocity 20 meter per second. Okay, let us see the next problem. What is the next interesting problem? Alright, a car is traveling, the problem is a car is traveling with a speed 20 km per hour, velocity is increased to 30 km per hour in 5 seconds, calculate the acceleration and the distance covered by the car. Okay, so next problem, a car is traveling with a speed 20 km per hour, then its speed is increased to 30 km per hour in 5 seconds. Alright, so initial speed of the car is given 30 km per hour, final velocity is given, is it 40? No, sorry, it is 20 km per hour, final velocity is 30 km per hour. Time taken to increase the velocity from 20 to 30, that is your 5 seconds. Question is, what is the acceleration and what is the distance traveled by the car? Okay, we should do it in SI unit. If I want to go from kilometer per hour to meter per second, what should we do? We remember that to go from kilometer per hour into meter per second, we have to multiply this by 5 upon 18. That's why we have done those very simple problems, and that will give us speed in meter per second. And how much will that be? This will be 9, this will be 10, so 50 upon 9 meter per second. Final velocity, that will be 30 into 5 upon 18, and that is meter per second. Okay, this will be how much? 3, so 25 upon 3, right? That is meter per second. Final velocity, time is given. Now you start from the right type of equation to apply. We have to do the acceleration. Alright, that is not so difficult. Time is given to us. By definition of acceleration, that is what? Change in velocity over time taken. So what is the change in velocity? Final velocity minus initial velocity over time. So what is that? Final velocity is 25 upon 3. It was 50 upon 9. Okay, and time is 2. I am not writing the units here because you are already in SI unit. So let us do this. You know how to solve it. So this is 9, this is 75, this is 50, then we have 2 here, then I am writing it here. This will be, on this top we have 25 upon 9, 2, so 25 upon 18, that is meter per second square. 25 upon 18 meter per second square. Okay, you can calculate how much is that. So let me see. Oh, something is wrong here. 25 upon 9. Is anything wrong here? A equals to V minus U by T. 25 upon 3 minus 50 by 9 by, oh, this is not 2, right? This is time is not 2. This is our 5. This is our 5. So this is our 5. So 25 by 9 and you have this 5, so this will be again 5, so 5 upon 9 meter per second, and that will be 0.5, yes, then 5, so this will be approximately 0.56 meter per second square. That is the acceleration. What is the distance? To find out the distance, okay, first of all let me rub this part. We need some space. Okay, let me rub this part. Okay, distance. We can apply our second equation of motion. Distance S will be ut plus half h square. Here what is u? U is our 50 upon 9. So 50 upon 9 meter per second. Time is 5 seconds plus half. Acceleration is given by 5 by 9. So acceleration is 5 by 9 time square, that is your t square is 25. So let me rub this part also and see what's the result we get. So how much? You can do it 250 upon 9 plus 125 upon 18. LCM is 18, is 2. So that will be 500 plus 125, and that will be 625 by 18. How much that will be? Let us see. That will be 34.78. That will be 30. Is it right? 34.78 meter. Let us roughly check if that is correct or not. Yes. So the distance covered is 34.78 meter. So see, as we are doing the numericals, we are understanding the concepts, the speed, the velocity, average speed, average velocity, distance covered or the displacement covered, right? And which formula, which equations to use in the right place. Alright. So let's go to the next numerical. Next one. A car accelerates uniformly from 18 km per hour to 36 km per hour in 5 seconds. Calculate. Okay, that's a similar type of problem. Okay, now we will do a different type problem. A stone is thrown vertically upwards with the speed of 10 meter per second. The stone reaches the maximum height of 5 meter. Calculate the time taken to reach the maximum height and the velocity of the stone at that point. So 10 meter per second. So the next problem is, this is our ground, suppose that is our ground. A stone is thrown vertically upward with the speed 10 meter per second. So initial speed of the stone is 10 meter per second. It is reaching a maximum height of 5 meter. So this is our height h, and that is 5 meter. Question is, how long will it take to reach the maximum height? So what is the time taken by this particle to reach the maximum height? And second, what is the velocity there? Okay, the second question you can answer very easily. As you are throwing a particle in the upward direction, its velocity is decreasing because Earth is pulling this object towards it. We will study in details about this force of gravitation in the third chapter called gravitation. Right now it's enough to know. You know it from your class, I think class 7 or 8, that all the objects are attracting each other. When you are throwing an object in the upward direction, it is pulled by the earth and it is having an acceleration towards the center of the earth, which is 9.8 meter per second square or 10 meter per second square approximately. Alright. here the acceleration due to gravity, and that is minus 10 meter per second square. It is minus because it is slowing down, and at the highest point the velocity will be 0. Question is, how long will it take? I can use the second equation of motion, that S equals to, not S, remember for motion under gravity we used H equals to ut plus half g t square. What is the time? That is the question. We know u, we know g, we know h. Or the first equation v equals to u plus gt, that is even simpler to use, because if we know the final velocity is 0, initial velocity is 10 meter per second, and our g is minus 10 meter per second square. So what is the time? So this will be, you bring this here, so 10t equals to 10, implying t equals to 1 second. So see, we could have used this second equation of motion, but we can solve it easily, much more easily, if we use the first equation of motion, v equals to u plus gt. So the time the object will take to go from this ground to the highest point, that is 1 second. Alright. That's it. Next problem. A ball is dropped from the height of 20 meter. Calculate the time taken by the ball to reach the ground and the velocity with which the ball will strike the ground. So next problem. Suppose this is our ground. This is our ground, and this is height 20 meter. This is 20 meter. A ball is dropped from here with no velocity. It is just dropped. So initial velocity is what? 0. So initial velocity is 0 meter per second. Question is, how long will it take to reach the ground? Question is, how long will it take to reach the ground? And what would be the final velocity of this particle just before it touches the ground? So what is the final velocity? And what else is given? Height, h is given to us, 20 meters. Then we have a problem, and we know different equations of motion, we know different formula. Now your experience will tell you, if you practice more, you will immediately understand which equation to call here. This is like you are in trouble, and to know exactly whom to call. If you break your leg, whether to call your parents immediately, or if you are old enough to call the ambulance or the police or the prime minister or the doctors or the healthcare person. So you have to know the right type of person to call for quick service, for the right type of service, right? So with the information given, the time is asked. V we don't know, final velocity, that is another question. So first equation is V equals to U plus AT, that we cannot use. Second equation is H equals to UT plus half GT square, that we can use. So we will say, using second equation of motion, using second equation of motion, what is that? H equals to ut plus half gt square. What is u here? U is 0, it is just drop with no initial velocity. So that is 0, first term is 0. Second is half, what is g? Now g is positive because it is falling down, speed is increasing with time. So that is 10 meter per second square. Okay, so g is 10 meter per second square times t square. Question is, what is t square? H is given to us, that is 20. So this 20 is equals to, this will be 5. So 5 t square, implying, it implies what? It implies t square equals to 4. So t will be square root of 4 2 second. Time cannot be negative, time is positive. So t is 2 seconds. So we have answered our first question. Sorry, what is time? What is the time this object will take to come from this highest point to the ground? Second is what is velocity? Now since we know the time, we can easily use our first equation of motion. Velocity that we want to know, that is u plus gt. Now you know the e, u is 0. You know the g, what is that? G is our 10 meter per second square, and time now you have found out, that is 2. So that will be 20 meter per second. Alright, so I hope you are understanding our ways to solve the numerical. First, to understand the problem, what are the information given to us and what are the questions being asked, what are the values, what are the what we have to find out, okay? And then you search in your mind which equation will be more efficient to tackle this problem. Alright, I will take a quick break to drink some water. Just a minute. Alright, dear students. So the next problem is a car moving with a speed 36 km per hour, and that is coming to rest in 5 seconds as a brake is being applied. Okay. So what is the acceleration of the car and how much distance the car will cover before it comes to rest? So we have to see what are the information given to us. Initial velocity that is given to us, final velocity that is given to us, it is coming to rest. Final velocity is 0 meter per second. What is the acceleration? What is the distance that is asked? And time is given, it is coming to rest in 5 seconds. So u is equals to 36 km per hour, final velocity. Let us convert this into SI unit. So 36, and how to go from kilometer per hour to meter per second? We have to multiply this by 5 upon 18, and that will give us meter per second. So this will be 10 meter per second. That is initial velocity. Final velocity is 0 meter per second. Time taken to come to rest is 5 seconds. And what is acceleration? What is the distance covered? These are questions asked. See, by definition of acceleration, we can say, or you can also say that using first equation of motion. What is that? Using first equation of motion. Using first equation of motion, we know v equals to u plus at. Okay. So at equals to v minus u, or a equals to v minus u by t, but that is besides the definition of acceleration, rate of change of velocity, time rate of change of velocity. So in our case, final velocity is 0, initial velocity is 10 meter per second, time is 5. So this is minus 10 upon 5, so minus 2, and unit will be meter per second square. So that is the acceleration. So what is the distance? See, negative means that is actually deceleration, that is retardation, negative of acceleration. Second is what is the distance covered. Okay, let me rub the upper part. So that we have some space. What is the distance covered? Alright, distance d or s, that is d is what? S basically. Ut, or let me write it s because we are familiar with this notation. S equals to ut plus half at square. U is our 10 meter per second. The car is moving for 5 seconds. So t is 5. So 10 times 5 plus half. What is acceleration? That is minus 2 meter per second square times t is 5. So 5 square is 25. So how much that is? That is 50. This will be cancelled. Minus 25, isn't it? So that is 25 meter. The car will cover 25 meter before it comes to rest. Alright, we will do next couple of numericals from our concept of uniform circular motion. So let me wrap this part. And you remember uniform circular motion, where an object is moving along a circular path with constant speed. That is called uniform circular motion. So when a particle is going around a circle, this is a particle, this is radius r, it is going covering equal distance in equal time interval, we call this is uniform circular motion. That is r, the total, if the particle is starting here, in one complete rotation it is covering the whole circumference, and that length is what? 2 pi into r. If the velocity of the particle is given, suppose v, now this is velocity, actually speed, right? Because it is constantly changing the direction. If the magnitude of velocity is given, then we can find out the time to go for one complete rotation, and time will be total distance covered, that is L upon the velocity, right? And that is 2 pi r upon v. Or if the time is given that it is taking t second to go from here to complete one rotation, what is the velocity? Then velocity will be 2 pi r upon t. So that is the concept. So based on this, we will be doing our next two problems. Okay, let me wrap this. You have understood this, I am sure. The problem is, suppose this is our earth. This is our earth. And from the center, there is an orbit. You imagine one orbit here where a satellite is moving. This satellite is, oh, this is not circle, very bad circle. Suppose this is our 35,000 kilometers. So the radius of this orbit, meaning the distance from the center, this is 35,000 kilometers. A satellite is moving along this orbit. Okay, and this is taking 22 hours to complete one rotation. Question is, what is the velocity of the satellite? So you got this. See, distance, the radius of the orbit is given 35,000 kilometers. It is taking, the satellite is taking 22 hours to complete this rotation. What is the velocity? Now just we have written the total path length for one complete rotation. The satellite will go 2 pi r distance, and it is taking 22 hours. So if I divide the distance by time, that will give me the velocity. So 2 pi r upon t, right? Now 2 pi r, what is that? 2 pi into what is this r? That is 35,000. I am not converting that into meter because I want to have the answer in kilometer per hour, because that is more convenient way of writing, because that is how we say the velocity of the light. So 35,000 kilometer, 2 pi is there, time is given 22 hours. Now we will be using the value of pi as 22 by 7. You know that 22 upon 7. If we use that, so 2 pi means 2 into 22 upon 7. This will be 3500 divided by 22. This 7 we can put it here, right? Or we can do it in the next line. So 2 into 22 into 3500 divided by 22, 720, right? So 22 cancel. This will be, oh, this is 1000, not 100. This will be 5,000, right? So this will be 10,000. So 10,000 kilometer per hour. So see, the enormous speed. The satellite is going around the earth with the speed of 10,000 kilometer per hour. That's actually easy. If you have this concept, you can very easily tackle this. The next problem, let me wrap this. So you are listening. tell you, because this is just the very first chapter of physics in class 9. We have 5 more chapters to go, and from every chapter we will be doing numericals. Okay? You have to develop the skill to visualize. Like when you study a storybook, you visualize all the scenes in front of your eyes. So when you do a numerical, the moment you are reading the numerical, it should be like that story. You can see, okay, that is object moving with this velocity, it is slowing down or speeding up, taking this much time. So all the information given in the problem should be already in your mind. You should clearly visualize that. Then only you will immediately write what are given to you and what you have to find out and which path you will take. Meaning which formula you will call, which equation will employ, right? So next problem from this uniform circular motion. Suppose you have a string or a thread which is 2 meter long, okay, and you are tying one stone here, and this is the fixed end. You are holding that end with your finger and you are rotating that in a circular path. We all do that sometimes. We have done that in our childhood days, okay. So 2 meter long string or thread, you are tying a pebble or a stone, whatever, rotating that with a speed of 5 meter per second. Question is, how long will it take to complete 10 rotations? Not just one rotation. How long will it take to complete 10 rotations? So, how long will the, suppose that's a ball, small ball. How long will the ball take to complete 10 rotations? First, let us find out how long the ball will take to complete one rotation. So, this is moving in a circular path. If I draw the diagram here, this is the circular path. That is the length of